Buenas tardes y buen bonitos de todos. Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Welcome to a community dedicated to providing spiritual tools for living a happy and full life. My name is Karina Shear, and I am the spiritual director and founding minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta. If you would like to join us live for the Zoom meeting, please contact me for the link and the password. And just to let you know, if you tried to log in today, I was having computer issues with my internet connection, so there was no Zoom meeting this morning. So today is Sunday, November 6th, 2022, and we are following the annual theme, which is Living Everyday Wonder. November is a new month, so this month we are celebrating home. And the topic for this week is There's No Place Like Home. Some of the books that are suggested for reading each month this year has been Ordinary Wonder by Charlotte Joko Beck. And for this month of November, the book suggestion is What Happened to You by Bruce Perry and Oprah Winfrey. So as we do each week, let's start with our reviewing of our purpose, vision, and mission statements. We have a grand purpose each week. And our purpose is to awaken and celebrate diversity and to love and serve our community. This is supported by our vision, which is creating the life you desire, which is further supported by our mission to provide spiritual tools for personal growth and transformation. Here at the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta, we honor all faith, all paths, all religions. So whichever path you are on, please know that you are welcome. We also welcome everyone, no matter your size, your color, age, your background, culture, your sex, sexuality, your beliefs, and as I mentioned, all religions. So whatever your type, whatever type of people you are, please know that you are valued and welcome here. So as I mentioned, we are teaching a philosophy called the Science of Mind. And this is a teaching based on new thought and ancient wisdom. So we offer spiritual tools and principles to promote personal growth. And as I mentioned, we honor diversity in all aspects. So everyone and everywhere is welcome here and appreciated. When Dr. Ernest Holmes founded this teaching in the 1920s, he had studied both Eastern and Western spiritual texts in order to come up with the Science of Mind teaching, which focuses on the individual use of thoughts and this powerful thing called the mind. He provided a precise or concise definition of the Science of Mind teaching when he replied that it is a correlation of laws of science, opinions of philosophy, and revelations of religion applied to human needs and aspirations. Each week, we offer a service in person on Sundays at noon on Calle Venezuela, number 232 on the rooftop. Please let me know in advance that you are coming so that the door on the ground floor can be opened and welcoming you. Each Sunday, hang out with us after the service for some great conversation with like-minded people. and just to get that community sense. So if you have any questions or comments, you can post them online wherever you are watching this replay, chat with me in person, or send me a direct email, and I'll be sure to respond. So what do the following have in common with one another? Harry Potter, Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, Gautama Buddha, and even Jesus. Well, you and the rest of humanity are all playing out the hero's journey, as did they. And it starts and ends in a place that we call home. This idea of home is primal among our collective archetypes. Across ages and cultures, it can most simply be said that home is where the heart is. Metaphorically, home is a place that is wholly or wholly known and familiar. That heart-filled place where we feel safe and fully free to be our natural, unvarnished selves, knowing that we belong and that there's always unconditional love and acceptance there. It's also a place where the human journey typically ends as well as begins. So this month, we begin our discovery of everyday wonder home with an exploration of the archetype of home as both the starting point and the destination of our spiritual journey. We'll discuss home in its idolized version as we examine the great monomyth, which is also known as the hero's journey. It's a metaphor for the process of psychological and spiritual nutrition and maturation. We will continue with discussions about the ideal home and the paradox of safety, such as how having a sense of rootedness and belonging and boundaries empowers us to soar, to freely and fully be our best self. And then we will have a look at what the home of our dreams might look like or feel like. And few of us have actually had the experience of living in our ideal home, either in the past or in the present. Next, we will be exploring how our childhood experiences have influenced how we see ourselves and the world, all while preparing us for the work that we are here to do, our divine purpose. And finally, we'll conclude our discovery of everyday wonder at home with practices and ideas for realizing and experiencing the sense of home that lies nestled at the core of our being, wherever you may go. So today we begin our discovery of everyday wonder home with the hero's journey as a metaphor for the human journey of psychological and spiritual growth and transformation. The great monolith begins and ends in the place that we call home. So this week, we discuss the journey and contemplate where we see ourselves in this process. In the Holmes Reader on Practical Wisdom, this is written: the Spirit of God is an undivided and indivisible wholeness. It fills all time with its presence and all space with the activity of its thought. Everyone is an incarnation of the One, each being a unique incarnation. All are rooted in the one life. Your endeavor, then, is not so much to find the God of your understanding as it is to realize its presence and to understand that this presence is always within you. Nothing can be nearer to you than that which is the very essence of your very being. Your outward search culminates in the greatest of all possible discoveries, finding the God of your understanding at the center of your own being. And life flows up from within you. The hero's journey represents the outward search to find the truth and the presence that lies at the center of being. The recognition of this presence within is the realization that unconditional love, wholeness, and oneness in our spiritual home, which we can access anytime, anywhere. So you may recall the beloved story of the Wizard of Oz, which begins with Dorothy in her drab surroundings on her farm in Kansas, when suddenly a tornado touches down. And with the wind and debris swirling around, Dorothy gets hit on the head and is magically transported to the beautiful Technicolor land of Oz that is sometimes dangerous. And with her is her dog, Toto. Upon awakening in this new land, she learns that her house accidentally landed on the Wicked Witch of the East. The Wicked Witch of the West threatened Dorothy for killing her sister. But Glinda the Good Witch interceded, giving Dorothy the dead witch's enchanted ruby slippers, which will afford protection as she travels. Dorothy wants to go back home. So Glinda suggests that the Wizard of Oz may be someone that is able to help her. So they set off to find the great wizard. And along the way, Dorothy meets the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion, who all accompany her on her travels along the yellow brick road. The Wicked Witch of the West is intent, though, on getting those ruby slippers, and she hinders and menaces Dorothy and her friends along the way. Dorothy transforms from the innocent child to the hero when she slays the Wicked Witch of the West by dumping a bucket of water on her. In the last phase of her journey, Dorothy delivers the witch's broomstick to the wizard as proof of her valor, expecting him to provide her a way back to Kansas. But the wizard turns out to be a fake. So just as Dorothy loses hope of ever finding her way home, Glinda appears and reminds Dorothy that she has always had the power to go home. With that insight, Dorothy clicks her heels 3 times while repeating the phrase, "There's no place like home." And at this point, Dorothy and Toto are magically transported back to Kansas. When she opens her eyes, she's in bed, surrounded by her family and friends who love her and have been caring for her as she recovered from that blow to her head. Dorothy tells them about her adventure, and they laughed. The movie ends with Dorothy explaining, "Oh, but anyway, Toto, we're home, home. And this is my room, and you're all here, and I'm not going to leave here ever, ever again, because I love you all." So home is where the love is. Eric Butterworth wrote this in Spiritual Economics. Before you formulate a desire in mind, it is God in you desiring. Before you have an urge, there is a moving of spirit in you, prompting you in that direction. So obviously, Dorothy needed to go on that journey to realize that she was already home where she was loved. So people mistakenly think of a myth as something commonly believed but untrue. For Carl Jung and Joseph Campbell, myths represent our collective psyche, illuminating universal principles and truths that apply to the entirety of the human family. The stories of Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland, and Mulan are reflections of this great monomyth, as much of the stories of Jesus, Buddha, and Moses. All of them refer to the archetype described by Joseph Campbell in The Hero with a Thousand Faces. The hero's journey represents the process of psychological and spiritual transformation from that innocent child to a mature, self-actualized adult. Everyone has the potential and capacity to be the hero of their own life journey. Some embark on the journey with intention, and others by accident. According to Campbell, a hero is someone who has given their life to something bigger than oneself. The journey entails a challenging evolutionary process that serves to shape, strengthen, and prepare the individual for their life work. And it certainly was a challenge for Dorothy. Michael Bernard Beckworth says this: pain pushes until vision pulls. So as long as we are feeling the pain, it's actually the vision of something better that's going to draw us forward to take action. So the hero's journey is not complete until the hero returns home and uses their newly found insight, wisdom, and power on behalf of a greater good. The challenges and obstacles that we overcome throughout life can be the access point to our greater life purpose. The recovering alcoholic, for example, may find their purpose in being an AA mentor. The individual familiar with loss and grief may find meaning in volunteering for hospice. And the domestic violence survivor may regain a sense of their own power by raising funds for a local shelter or even volunteering there. So I encourage you to find a greater cause, a cause greater than yourself, and commit to being of service in an area that gives you a sense of purpose. So for example, Habitat for Humanity, domestic violence and homeless shelters and foster care programs are perpetually in need of volunteers, resources, and financial support. Here in Puerto Vallarta, we support the Banderas Bay Women's Shelter by giving 10% of your donations each year during their annual fundraiser, What a Drag. So your donations are put to a good use and are very important. So here's another quote from the Holmes Reader on practical wisdom. Nothing can be nearer to you than that which is the very essence of your being. Your outward search culminates in the greatest of all possible discoveries, finding God at the center of your own being. So yes, the hero's journey begins and ends at home. The home of the child as the hero is a place of shelter and safety, while simultaneously representing repression. The metaphoric walls that protect the child also keep the hero in the making in a sheltered state. Eventually, the desire to break free from customs and rules and limiting beliefs prompts that child to set out to explore the unknown, where there is learning, growth, and evolution. Dorothy left Kansas, and Buddha gave up a kingdom. So there's 12 steps to the journey that happen in 3 phases. The 3 phases are departure, initiation, and return. During the departure, the child leaves the ordinary world and sets out on their call of adventure, challenge, or a quest. And there's generally an initial reluctance to answer that call, which is overcome with the guidance of a mentor, such as Glinda in The Wizard of Oz. And during the initiation phase, the child develops a strength and a character through enduring tests and trials and tribulations, along with the help of allies and friends found along the way, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Lion. In the final phase, the child slays their inner dragon and is gifted with an insight that transforms them into the hero, thus initiating the return home. Joseph Campbell said this: "We must be willing to let go of the life we planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us." So the person that returns home is not the same person who left. This new person is the hero, and they have new insight and understanding that transform them from the innocent child to a mature adult who uses their gifts to serve a greater cause. The hero comes into full spiritual maturity by rising above their small self to do the work of the higher self. And the hero's journey is potentially everyone's journey. At the end of The Wizard of Oz, Glinda tells Dorothy she always had the power to return home. Like Dorothy, we each have to leave our safe surroundings to find and become all that we are meant to be. The journey then reminds us that home, that place we have known, loved, holy, whole, and free, is the best place to be. We already have everything we need to get there. Irish novelist George Moore wrote this: "A man travels the world over in search of what he needs and returns home to find it." So in conclusion, consider your life in the context of the hero's journey. In what phase do you see yourself right now? Are you still in your comfort zone, that fur-lined rut, afraid to venture out, while feeling that push or that pull to do and be more? Are you experiencing trials and tribulations? Perhaps you have been intentional about your spiritual journey and feel confident that you have already slain your dragon. Are you living your divine purpose? And how are you showing up as an ally or mentor for others on their journey? As you explore this inquiry, think about your possible next steps and what might help guide you to the next level of your personal growth and evolution. And I'll leave you with another quote from Joseph Campbell: "You are the hero of your own story." And that leads us to our affirmation for the week: I am the hero of my journey. So now is our time for mindful giving and financial support of our spiritual home. And we rely on your support to continue our center here in Puerto Vallarta so that we can continue offering this powerful teaching of the science of mind, and so that we can continue donating to the local women's shelter as our charity of choice. So we bless the financial gifts that you give today. Every donation is greatly appreciated, whether it's $5 or $50 or anything in between. Donations can be made using PayPal or Tithely through our website, which is www.cslpv.org. When you arrive on the landing page, you'll see two buttons. One is for PayPal and the other is for Tithely. So whichever you choose, you'll have the option to make the donation in whichever way best serves you. There's also donate buttons on the same page right above where you see all of our past talks on our website. If alternatively you still like to write out a paper check, you can do so by addressing it to CSLPV number 403 2125 Birch Road, Kelowna, BC, V1Y8N1. And now, if you'd like to join me in our offertory affirmations. I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I do give eternal thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. So thank you for coming and spending this time together today. If you would like to have a one-on-one connection for a spiritual mind treatment to assist you with whatever changes or emotions or whatever it is in life that you would like to experience more of or something different, please connect with me. And if you would like to commit to being a member of the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta for this upcoming year, or if you would like to be on our board of trustees, please contact us so that you can receive our current forms. I'd also like to remind you to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook page. And if you're interested in learning more about the Science of Mind teaching, we recently offered the course, Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life, which was held online. And this course will be offered again in late December or early January. So connect with me or check back online to find out more details. And please also let me know if there's another course, or workshop, or book study that you would be interested in taking. And we'll plan dates to put that on the calendar as well. In the meantime, let's continue with practicing peace. We can each be a force for peace and nonviolence. Our words and our actions create ripples of peace all around us and beyond. Peaceful living includes acts of compassion, kindness, and consideration. And it also includes standing up against injustice. May peace and love be with you. Blessings and namaste.